Tales from cold planets often begin with silence. But this one started with a knock. Daeyun sat alone in his research shelter on planet Nunis 3. Outside, blizzard howled like a wild beast. The snow blew so hard, the world had turned white. For days the storm was the worst he had seen in years. He was used to being alone. That was the job. He studied snow patterns, earthquakes, and strange heat spots below the surface. He sent daily reports to the Earth station when the signal worked. Tonight, the storm had blocked all communication. His heater hummed. The lights flickered. He made hot tea, wrapped himself in a blanket, and read a book. Then came the knock. It was soft. Just once. Then again 3 gentle taps. Daeyun sat up straight. No one should be out in that weather. No one should be near his shelter. He waited another knock. Not loud, not desperate, but it was there. Clear and real. He grabbed his thermal coat and walked slowly to the door. His heart beat fast. He opened it, and there they were. 4 creatures, stood in the snow, tall, covered in white frost. Their bodies were long and scaled like dragons from old legends, but they did not attack, they did not growl. They just stood there, breathing quietly. A larger one stood at the front. Beside it was a smaller one, slightly shorter, with a glowing mark on its chest. Behind them, 2 small ones shivered, pressing against their parents' legs. Daeyun stared, frozen in shock. The wind whipped into the shelter. Snow flew in. Still, the creatures did not move forward. Then the smaller adult, maybe, the mother bowed her head. Daeyun did not know why, but he stepped aside. "Come in," he whispered. The dragon family entered slowly, silently. They didn't roar. They didn't look angry. The father looked around the shelter, then lay down by the wall. The mother guided the younglings toward the heating vent. Daeyun closed the door. His hands shook. He locked it. Then he turned to face them. He grabbed his translator pad and scanned them, hoping for some kind of result. But it showed no match. No known species. No common language. Nothing. He moved closer, slowly. The young ones were weak. One of them fainted. Daeyun rushed to grab a heat blanket and wrapped it around the little one. The mother watched him closely, but did not stop him. Her eyes were deep and soft, glowing faintly. Then something strange happened. She walked up to Daeyun and pointed to the burn mark on his wrist. He had gotten it many years ago, when a fire broke out at a science lab during his training. He had never forgotten the pain, nor the strange dream he had that night of being saved by something large and warm. With glowing eyes, the dragon mother showed her own forearm. She had a similar scar, the same shape, same color. Daeyun's heart raced. Could it be? He sat down slowly. He tried to speak, but no words came. The dragon mother placed a claw on her chest, then gently tapped his. Was this a sign of memory, of connection? He looked at the youngling in his blanket. The small creature opened its eyes and stared at him. It did not look afraid. It looked ... familiar. Suddenly, the alarm blared. Daeyun jumped. He checked the screen. Something large was approaching. A mining mech. Old design. Heavy. Armed. "No one should be here," Daeyun said aloud. The dragon stood up quickly. The father moved to protect the children. The mother let out a low hum. Not a growl. A warning. Daeyun tapped his computer screen. The mech was unregistered. Probably black market. A poacher ship. He had heard stories. People who hunted rare life forms for money. Maybe they had followed these creatures. Maybe they had tracked them here. The mech stopped just outside the shelter. A metal voice came through the speaker. "We know what you found. Hand over the dragons, or be destroyed." Daeyun's blood went cold. He looked at the dragon family. The children huddled close to their mother. The father's chest glowed faintly, same color as the youngling's mark. Daeyun had to think fast. The shelter's defense system was weak. It was made for storms, not war. He opened the emergency storage and pulled out the only laser rifle he had. It hadn't been used in years. He charged it. The wind outside roared harder. The blizzard was still thick. That might help. It could hide them. But before Daeyun could make a plan, the young dragon spoke. Just one word. In perfect Korean. Appa. Daeyun froze. That word, that voice. The child looked at him. Their eyes were wide. The same eyes from his dream years ago. The same warmth he had felt when something had saved him in the fire. The dragon mother looked at Daeyun and nodded. Then she placed the child in his arms. Outside, the mech began to charge its cannon. Inside, Daeyun held the little dragon and whispered, "I'm not letting them take you." Outside the shelter, the metal monster waited. The poacher mech stood tall in the white storm. its arms glowing with deadly power. It was built for hunting, not for talking. But now it spoke again, cold and clear. Last warning. Hand over the dragons, or die with them. Daeyun held the small dragon close. The child had called him Appa. That one word had changed everything. The dragon mother moved beside him. Her eyes were not afraid. They were strong, knowing. She looked into his mind, not with words, but with something deeper. And then Daeyun saw it, flashes of memory. A lab fire, years ago. Smoke screams. He was just a boy then, trapped inside a burning room. No exit, no help. But something had come through the flames. Not a human, something large, soft, and glowing with golden light that had lifted him gently and carried him to safety. It didn't speak. It didn't wait. It vanished before others arrived. That was not a dream. That was her. The dragon mother was the one who had saved him all those years ago. And now, she had come back. Not to ask for help, but to give something even greater. Why? Daeyun whispered. Why me? The father dragon stepped forward. He opened his claw and dropped something shiny on the floor. It was a tiny silver chipboard, cracked, but still glowing. Daeyun picked it up. It was from Earth, a part of a rescue drone. From the fire, Daeyun's hands shook. The dragons were not monsters. They were not aliens to fear. They were once like him, humans, changed long ago by ancient tech during space experiments gone wrong. But they had survived. They had evolved. And they had never forgotten kindness. The storm screamed louder. The mech fired a warning shot. A hole through a tree nearby. The children cried out. The mother hissed, pulling them close. Daeyun snapped into action. He rushed to the control panel. The shelter's defenses were weak, but he had a plan. By me time, he told the dragons. The father nodded. Then, without fear, he ran outside into the storm. The mech turned. It fired again. The blast hit the dragon, but he didn't fall. He stood his ground, his chest glowing brighter and brighter. Inside, Daeyun hacked into the power core. He bypassed security locks. He overloaded the signal beacon. He turned the shelter into a trap. The whole base was now set to explode if needed. Daeyun, a voice said suddenly. He looked up. It was the dragon child, the small one, speaking again in clear Korean. You saved us. Let us save you. The child's eyes glowed like stars. He walked to the center of the room and closed his eyes. A bright light spread from his chest. The snow outside stopped in midair. The storm froze. Time slowed. Daeyun could barely breathe. The dragon child floated off the ground, then opened his mouth and sang. It wasn't a sound made by any human. It was deep, ancient, full of emotion. The sound hit the mech like a wave. The machine shook. Sparks flew. Its gun arms froze. The poacher screamed through the speaker. What is this? Then silence. The mech fell, dead. Daeyun ran outside. The father dragon was down, breathing weakly. The snow melted around him. The others came running. But something else was happening. The mountain beneath them began to rumble. The ground cracked. A red glow rose from the snow. No, Daeyun whispered. It's the AI weapon. He had read about it in secret files. A super weapon buried under Newness 3, made by a lost alien race. If awakened, it could destroy planets. The poachers had disturbed it. The dragons knew. That's why they came. And now, only one thing could stop it. I'll stay, Daeyun said. I'll trigger the self-destruct. You run. The dragon mother growled softly. She refused. But Daeyun was fast. He grabbed the escape pod key and threw it into the pod. Go, he yelled. The dragons hesitated. Then the father nodded. They understood. Daeyun stood alone at the shelter's heart. His hand hovered over the core. He looked out one last time. The dragon child looked back, eyes filled with tears. Daeyun smiled. Human kindness is our fire, he whispered. We save, not conquer. He pressed the button. The mountain lit up like a sun. Then came the silence. A week later, Earth HQ received a strange message. A final data burst from Daeyun. It included blueprints, coordinates, and warnings about other AI weapons across the stars. It also included a short video in it. Daeyun sat beside the dragon child, holding his small claw. He said only one thing. Don't be afraid of what's different. Sometimes, it's family. Months passed. On a quiet green planet far away, the dragon family lived in peace. The little one played by the river, drawing pictures in the dirt. One of the drawings showed a human with kind eyes, holding a blanket. The child looked up at the stars. Appa, he whispered. And the stars seemed to whisper back.